Hi, grade 10s. So the next section is on page 173 and it's interest on overdue accounts. Okay, so interest may be charged on overdue accounts. So a debtor is somebody that owes you money. He bought from you, he still needs to pay you money and he pays late and now you're charging him some interest. Okay, so if he fails to comply with the credit terms, pays within a certain time, then interest can be calculated. Okay, so interest is calculated as a percentage of the amount owing. Okay, so if you owe 100 Rand and your interest rate is 10%, then it's 10% on that specific amount for a specific period. Okay, now to show that interest, you have to write it in a general journal. That is where you write a transaction like that. Okay. Now, debtors account or the debtors account and debtors control is an asset and it will be debited because you want the amount that the person owes you to increase. He owes you more. Okay, so assets increases on the debit side. Right, so you will put the amount or the debtors control will increase on the debit side as well. Okay. Interest on the overdue accounts or on the overdue debtors will be an income to you, and that's why we credit it. So owner's equity becomes more on the credit side. So that's why if it's an income, we put it on the credit side. So let's look at the example. Okay. D-Late's account of 2,400 is 2 months overdue. Okay, Bev charged interest at 16% per annum. Okay, so but it's only for 2 months. Okay, so how do you calculate it? It's 2,400 times 0.16 times 2 over 12, and that's a 64. Okay. Again, it's a triple entry. Okay, so you debit Mr. D. Late's account, the specific debtors account, debtors ledger number 7, okay, because the asset debtors becomes more. Interest on overdue accounts is now income. Income increases the owner's equity on the credit side. So that's why we credit it here. You will see if we debit D. Late's account, D. Late is one of the debtors, so debtors control must also be debited. Okay, so interest charged on overdue accounts at 16% per annum for 2 months. Okay, interest charged on overdue accounts at 16% per annum for 2 months. Okay, so there's the 64 and the 64, and we can just add it there to the bottom. Okay, that's page 173. Now we have to increase the debtors control. Okay, so debtors control is debited, the asset is debited with interest on overdue accounts. Write general journal 64. Okay, then the nominal accounts section, interest on overdue accounts, its owner's equity, it increases the owner's equity, and the other account is obviously debtors control. You can see the two swaps around, debtors control at the top, interest on overdue accounts at the bottom. Okay, interest on overdue accounts at the top, and debtors control at the bottom for the 64. And now you have to do the debtors ledger. Specifically, he owed 2,400 in the beginning. You add the interest, so it increases the assets. Remember, debtors will be assets, and the 2,400 increases with the 64 to get to 2,464. Now they say, okay, a trader's account with his supplier, the creditor, may also become overdue. Okay, so now you owe a creditor more money. Now this person, the supplier, charges you interest. Okay, so if for the previous example it would have been an income because you're getting money from the debtor, you have to pay the creditor interest. So it will be interest expense that will be debited, and the creditor will increase, and liabilities or creditors increase on the credit side. Okay, so liabilities increases since the trader's original debt has also increased. Okay, so that was interest on overdue accounts.